Hello, everyone, and welcome to Ramble number 8. This one, I don't think there's quite as long of a break from the ramble I made like in the spring slash winter, and then the ramble I made right before Raids 3 to this one now. And mostly that's because I've just been a giant spoon at basically everything I've been doing. Well, not a total spoon at TOA, as I'll show you guys, but in terms of just general spoonage, it's been sort of off the charts for me in the past 2 or 3 months. So this one, I'm going to be pretty brief with it. I think I just have a lot of screenshots to share with you guys. And after that, I'm just going to talk a little bit about what my plans are. Um, just in terms of now that I've achieved some cool items, my plans are sort of more clear as to what exactly I should do on the game, which is good because I think with the introduction of Raids 3 and Nex, and sort of the devaluation of Nightmare and some other things, the Ironman meta in terms of the order in which we typically think we need to do bosses has sort of been disrupted. Because to me, it's always been sort of confusing now because you have Nex to go get Torva to go do CM, or should I go do Nightmare? But oh, I should get Ancestral to go do Nightmare, so I need to do Cox first. And then, oh wait, I need Masori now to go do Nex, but I want a TBOW to do Nex. So it's like all messed up, and I feel like almost the best way is to just do whatever content you want, and whatever you get lucky at, that sort of you take what you get as you go, and you just sort of do what you enjoy and sort of hope you get the items along the way. So that's sort of the philosophy I've been doing it. And let's get started with Raids 3. So just to talk a little bit about Raids 3 release, I was loving Raids 3 right on release. It's always fun to do new content, but with Raid especially because it's just huge. There's so much nuance to everything. There's so many new strats to figure out. Everyone is sort of, trying to figure everything out. All the streams are popping off on Twitch. It's always exciting when you get a purple or when you see someone get a purple or whatever. So my strategy early on was just to do solos. There was, I just enjoy soloing in general more than doing team content, and I actually haven't done any team raids since release. And I've done about like 250 raids now. But so I was soloing and I was only doing normal modes until, because I wanted to get at least a Fang before sort of jumping into experts. Because my setup was sort of scuffed. I don't have full Ancestral, I don't have Claws. I was using a Bofa, it wasn't, and like I released some TOA videos, which quickly got outdated in terms of the actual strategies that I show in those videos. Like I was using a Seldor on Slash instead of Stab. Shortly after those, I switched to using a Hasta, obviously. As like those videos I released when no one really knew what was going on, and a lot of those are just totally outdated because of the changes that they've made to Ambrosia and stuff. And so I'm happy a lot of those videos like popped off and maybe helped people, but now they're totally outdated, and there's probably better guides out there that are actual like guides and not just techno playing while I do the raid, which I enjoy listening to techno and throwing on the recorder and playing the game, but probably it's not the most helpful for learning how to do the content. So actually, in terms of what I got from the raid, so let me see, is this gonna work if I do, oh no, wait, I need to, sorry, this is, I need to set the order, move up. Okay, boom, there we go. Sorry, so I really do not know how OBS works at all. So every time it's like a mystery to me. And I don't think anyone knows how OBS works because every time you go on Twitch, everyone is always complaining about the latest like OBS update or whatever. So pretty sure just like no one knows what's going on with it. Okay. But here was my first purple at TOA, and actually, I was incredibly dry. Not incredibly dry, but fairly incredibly dry because this was at 207 normal modes. 207 normal modes. And keep in mind, this is like September 7th, so like very close to the release, probably like 2 weeks after. I was grinding it really hard. I was doing at the very beginning 150s because everyone was saying, "Oh, dude, 150s, they're just like printing purples." And like I saw everyone getting like 8 purples and completing the raid. Like I saw Creel, like he basically had the raid completed after like 2 days, and so I was doing 150s, and then I was not getting any purple, so I started doing like mid 200s, anywhere from like 200 to 250 raids, and finally at 207, I got my first purple, which was the Fang. Um, Even though I had to wait, if you're gonna wait, you want your first purple to be the Fang, so you can just get into doing expert modes, which I did. And after I got the Fang, I did get the Light Bear a few raids later doing expert modes. So if I show you guys the log as it stands now in terms of TOA, I have the Light Bear, the Fang, and I also did go for the Masori crafting kit. So I got that as well. And currently I have 229 normals, 9 experts, and I haven't done any TOAs since then, basically. I haven't been like burned from TOA, but there's just been other goals that have been more appealing to me, other things I've just been really enjoying on the game. And maybe I have, to be honest, been a little burnt from TOA after going like 200 dry to see 1 purple. I was a little like sick of it, to be honest. But so let's now talk about CMs. So after I got the Fang, I wanted to test the Fang at challenge mode chambers, and I released some videos. I think I released me doing Tecton with the Fang, doing the 5-tech Tecton walk, and then I released one of my CM PBs with the Bofa and Fang, doing like, I recorded a whole raid. So I started doing CMs. I think I hadn't done chambers in a long time, and I'm really bad at chambers, just to add that as a disclaimer before I show you guys any of these screenshots. So if you see any horrible personal bests, then keep that in mind that I'm just bad at chambers. So first thing, I have been doing some necks here and there with Sebe on stream and some other people. Scott VC, if you guys know him, he's a streamer as well. He is very entertaining. You guys should check out his stream. Here's just one thing I got, a Ancient Hilt, but let's get into the challenge mode raids. So the first purple eye that I got from challenge mode raids was at 4 KC, and as you can see, like an hour and 31 seconds, very, very slow. When I was learning, of course, my PB has gotten better since then, but not incredibly good, as you guys will see. So a 4 kill count Dragon Hunter crossbow, not bad. The next interesting thing is at 38 KC, I got my first Twisted Ancestral Color Kit, which is fine. I only need one because I only have one piece of Ancestral so far. I only have the skirt so far. Now, here is when things start to get interesting, because at KC 46, I got my Twisted Buckler, and I was so happy about this because I was always doing necks with like Travis 42 and other people, or like Range Camp, and I was always the dude that had the Spectral and was like being a dick because necks would just not focus me because I was using the Spectral, or I was using my skeletal visage thing. So my defense was always higher and my range strength and accuracy was always lower. So I was just like, that's not the shield you want. So I was very happy to get this. And then, as if to say that the game wanted to give me a a next starter kit on the next raid, the back-to-back, I got the Twisted Bow. Yes, you can all hate me. You can all hate me. I've done like 200 normal Cox raids, and now on 47 CMKC on the back-to-back purple, I get the Twisted Bow. And this is actually pretty funny because I don't know if you guys remember from one of my, I think it's like my second or third ramble, when I was talking about getting my decks. I actually got my Ancestral Skirt or Row Bottom and decks back to back as well. So I've had 2 back to backs at Chambers, and every time it's always been 2 amazing items back to back. So 3 purples in that CMKC. I have the Dragon Hunter crossbow, the buckler, and the twisted bow. So that's just absolutely insane. Let me show you guys the log as it stands now with Chambers. I am 7 out of 12, 3 arcanes, 1 dex, and look at just the lack of dupes here. That's just incredible. I really cannot complain at all. 7 out of 12 at only 250 combined KC. I'm not sure how many points that is. I die a lot in Chambers. So like my points are probably lower. It's all solos, but I really enjoyed doing CMs. And now that I have the twisted bow, I was doing like prep, very slow bow Ferdinand CMs, and they were like around 45 to 50 minutes. Now with the TBOW, I definitely want to start getting into no preps, start getting faster. However, I really want to, I might as well actually just get Masori, full Masori from Tombs of a Masket at least, and hopefully get the staff, because full Masori and the staff is like, saves literal minutes, just not even talking about like strategy, just like actual DPS. It saves minutes in the raid to be using that. The staff is absolutely cracked on Vespula, absolutely cracked on Mage Hand. If you guys have been watching like Rostaman or Smorg 3000 streaming CMs, it's like absolutely just insane the personal best that they're getting with that, and just how unbelievable it really makes challenge mode raids. So yeah, I have the twisted bow now, and it's made the entire game easy. Now I'm totally burnt from the game. I have no motivation to do anything. Obviously, that's a joke. The twisted bow has not made me burnt from the game. Actually, the contrary. It has re-sparked my joy for the game, and I wanted to sort of get into doing some more PVM with it. Maybe do some Zuck tasks, do some Slayer, maybe some Hydra, or Zammy or other things. So but the next thing I did after doing all those challenge mode raids was do some Slayer. I've mentioned in previous rambles that I didn't have an imbued heart or an eternal Slayer gem, and I definitely want the pets from doing Slayer. So Duradel Slayer is probably like one of the things that was my primary goals, and it still is. But we managed to get very, very lucky doing Slayer as well. Now I have to click through all these. So just to go through some miscellaneous Slayer screenshots, I got the Archer's Ring from DKs. I've done quite a fair bit of DKs. I'm like at 600 KC for all the DKs now, just from doing all my tasks there. Here's from doing the Grotesque Gargalons, Granite Hammer, Granite Ring. I got the Leaf-Bladed Battle Axe and Leaf-Bladed Sword, both in one Karask task, which was nice. Just finish that off, and I don't really have to feel pressured to do that anymore, which is good. Here's something very exciting. When I took the TBOW to Krill, I got Pet Krill Tutsaroth. So now I am only missing the hilt to not only green the Zamorak God Wars collection log, but actually the entire God Wars collection log minus the Sarah pet and Bandos pet will be complete if I get the Zamorak hilt. So I only need the Zamorak hilt to finish the God Sword set, which is cool because I also got the Ancient God Sword. But for full God Wars completion in terms of armor, in terms of the God Swords, not counting Torva, it will be totally complete after I manage to get the Zamorak hilt, which is cool. Here's the Black Tourmaline Core, so I got the Guardian Boots. Pretty lucky on that, I guess, but it doesn't take long to grind anyway. And I used to hate these Gargalons, but when I started using Blood Fury and the SGS with the Lightbearer, it's become quite fun because you can just take like an hour's worth of Divine Super Combat and Super Ranging and just stay there the whole time. You never really like lose HP, so you can just camp in there, and I've been using Dragon Darts just because it makes it just so much better, because you don't have to worry about like failing the skipping thing on Dawn or whatever, and it just makes it so much better. I probably will never go back to using Amethyst or Rune Darts there. You get quite a few of them back in drops anyway, so it doesn't feel like a total waste. But I am still doing those tasks for the pet and the jar, of course. Here's a circle, so that means the only thing I'm missing from Dagonoth Kings is the pets, because the Archer's Ring and the circle were the only two things I was missing. And ladies and gentlemen, we did get the Imbued Heart at around 17 million Slayer XP off a Abyssal Demon. So this was quite lucky. I have something like 250 superiors. So the only thing now that I'm missing off the superior drop table is the Eternal Gem, which I'm still going to be hunting, of course, but I think now that I've gotten this, I'm much more willing to stop doing Slayer for the time being and go back to doing raids, go back to doing some other pet hunts. But to be honest, I've been really, really enjoying Slayer. I love the variety. I just love all the Slayer bosses, to be honest. I started liking Serb a lot, doing it with a Blood Fury and SGS and Lightbearer. Thermi is quite fun with the Fang, doing the stalling method, which I uploaded a video of me doing. Even like KBD and DKs, it's all very fun. I've been enjoying all of it. The only thing, I really don't like Vorkath. Vorkath makes me fall asleep. Like, literally fall asleep. Like, I actually fell asleep at the wheel and died at Vorkath the other night, which was embarrassing for me. Let me see, are there any more? Oh, yeah. So, just to get into some other miscellaneous collection log stuff, I got those two last Barrows items that I needed, which was pretty cool. So, from 746 to 812 on the Varix Flail, which was the last item. So now Barrows is completely green logged. I never need to do Barrows again unless they release the Barrows pet. So Barrows is completely finished. The one thing which is kind of unfortunate about this Varax Flail is I literally got this Varax Flail, and then later that night I was like, oh, I want to go try it out on Callisto. I literally died and lost the Varax Flail, so... Which is fine now because I have a Fang, and it's way better on Callisto, even after the nerf, than the Varax Flail was, and I'll probably end up getting the Rev weapons at some point, so... Varax Flail is very useless. I made sure I did the Cowfight Queen combat achievement for the Elite combat achievement before I lost the Flail. But I was just feeling sort of like, well, I might as well risk it, whatever. And I got PK'd and lost it. So that was that. So I have green log Barrows, but I am missing this Flail for actually having all the items in my bank. This was actually very good to get as well because... this means now that I can do that Hydra combat achievement, and I was able to do like one of the mole combat achievements as well. That sort of requires Darox. This is the last miscellaneous screenshot, is the Magma Mutagen. So now I have both mutagens from Zulrah, which is very, very cool. Very lucky as well, only like 1.2 KKC. So very spoon. Sorry for any mains that are still rocking the Booger Helm. GG. That is pretty much all I have to say about that. So let me talk a little bit about what I want to do on the game now that I have the TBOW, I have the Imbued Heart. I've been doing a bunch of Slayer. But in terms of what my goals are in terms of this account, now that I am set up pretty well in terms of gear, I definitely want to keep doing Slayer and keep doing some of these more fun and... Ooh, hard clue, Pog. Keep doing a variety of bosses and keep things interesting. So that includes, I need to, let me just go to the collection log here to show you guys. I still am doing Kraken tasks for the jar to green log this and never have to do Kraken again. There's absolutely no point to get a billion tentacles for the upgrade since the shadow is in the game. I've been doing my Cerberus tasks. I got a Pegasian Crystal on my last task, but I still need the jar and the pet, of course. I mentioned I've been doing quite a bit of DKs, as you can see. Look at all these rings and axes and staffs and circles. But, excuse me. yeah, I still need all these pets, of course. That'll take a while. I mentioned the Gargalons, so I'm missing the granite gloves, which will definitely come soon. That's only like a 1 in 128, I think, but I need the jar and the pet. That'll probably take a long time as well. There's also Thermi, which I mentioned, which um, I'm actually going to go for the D chain from Thermi. I don't do my Cowfight Queen tasks anymore because this is the most spooned log of all time. I have the pet in the jar in 187 KC. This is a Master Clue item, so I need this. So I've been doing all the Thermi tasks. And I think it's 1 in 2K as opposed to 1 in 128 from Cowfight Queen. But I assume I'll get the D chain before I get the pet in the jar. If I'm incredibly lucky somehow, and I somehow end up getting the pet in the jar before the D chain, I will go to Cowfight Queen and get the D chain just because it's a much lower drop rate from there. So I'll get it fast from KQ if I end up not getting it from here. I've been doing my KBD tasks, and I'm actually probably going to extend Black Dragons now that I have a DHCB and I have the Skeletal Visage. So I have like sort of the max setup for that, which is good. I could use TBOW there as well, or the Fang is pretty good, and Lance is good as well. There's a lot of options, but I sort of prefer the DHCB, like doing step unders and praying melee. It feels pretty good, and it's one of the few places in game where you can actually use that new Raise 3 potion, the Metaphite Remedy. I might make a video of doing a KBD trip with that, because it's pretty cool that it actually has one use. Vorkath is another boss that I've been doing. Now over 1k KC. I got a dupe Dragonbone necklace on one of these previous tasks. I only had one before, but still missing the Draconic Visage, which I might get from this or KBD or other dragon tasks. Missing the pet in the jar, of course. So that is sort of the bosses that I'm doing. In terms of other pets, I definitely am still going for skilling pets. Primarily, when I AFK, I chop redwoods or fish karambons for either the beaver, the heron, and when I want to do like focus and do skilling, I catch chins, either black chins or red chins, with various degrees of efficiency. Sometimes I just literally am clicking the traps, like not doing any tick manipulation, and sometimes I'm at black chins, like spawn camping and killing it, and doing all the 3 tick, 1 tick, suck my dick bullshit. So yeah, so in terms of skilling pets and slayer pets, that's probably the major pet grinds that I'm going to be doing. But I should, if I want to be efficient about it, I should just go back to TOA and get full Masori, but it's just such a pain. I really, I like, every day I log on and I think, oh, I should go do like TOA, and then I think about just doing that fucking monkey room. I think about just like doing the whole raid, and it's just such a hassle. But full Masori isn't that bad of a grind. I should just do like the 300 experts and try and do like 25 a week or 30 a week, and try to just bust that out in a few months. It really isn't that bad, but I just find it kind of boring, to be honest. It's a great raid. I just don't like raiding very much. I never really liked doing like tons of raids. I find it very difficult to sort of do a bunch in a row. So I don't know, maybe I'll stream it or something, make it like more interesting for me or something. In terms of other big goals that I have, I definitely need to do more necks. This is a weird log. I have the pet and the hilt, which are the 2 rarest things. So by default, I will green log next because I need all the other items. I need the ZCB, I need the Van Braces, and I need full Torva. So I will end up green logging next, which is cool for a collection logger standpoint, but in terms of just like actually doing the boss, it's annoying that I haven't gotten any Torva. I'm not sure how to approach next. A part of me, I was talking to my friend Aziz, who's in Olympus and who's done a lot of next masses, and I think is like 2 out of 3 on Torva and has a ZCB. I could be mistaken about what he has, but he's done like something like 3,000 next masses, and next masses are very boring, but it's like doing Winter Tot. It's like, it's so easy. It's literally Winter Tot level gameplay. And I think it's like something like 200 hours to see a drop there because you have like 25 people in the room. It's like a 1 in 40, so like 1 in 800. It's like 20 kills an hour maybe, so yeah, probably like a 200 hour grind for like like getting one drop from next in your name in a mass. So that's actually not the worst thing ever, given that it's so easy. It's a little less hard on supplies. You can just stay there. It's AFK. But at the same time, it takes forever. So as I mentioned and showed you guys in the Ancient Hill screenshot, I've been doing some necks with Sebe and Scott when they're around. We haven't done it in a while, and I think neither of them are really motivated to do necks at the moment. So I'm not sure how to approach this. Honestly, like, I really dislike having to find teams, so I might just camp a mass for like 2 or 3 months straight. If I get the motivation to do that for some weird reason, but probably not. I don't know. But I really want Torva, man. It would make CM so good. It would be good for Tombs of a Masket. It would just be good in general. And as you guys know, now that I have the Buckler and the TBOW, it has made decks a lot better to do, and I have the Fang as well. So I really have like sort of max gear for irons, doing it in small teams, and also for like masses, it's not that bad. I get a decent amount of MVPs doing it in masses as well. So we'll see. I'm not quite sure. In terms of other goals, I'm extremely close to. Let me go to the overview here. I'm extremely close to getting the elite combat achievements done. Let me show you guys the incomplete tasks. I have the normal nightmare task to do. The only one I'm worried about here is actually getting 4 other people to do this with me. I have like the TBOW entry mode, which also requires getting another person to like pass the ball, but that's fine. I can just ask one of my friends to do that with me quickly. It won't take long. And then I have like these 2 bosses, which I just find annoying because I keep getting killed there, and I'll do like 1 kill and then just like, yeah, fuck that. So very easy task. I could get this done in like a day if I felt like it really, but I do not feel like it at the moment. And I kind of want to wait to see if all those new buffed rewards pass. And in terms of doing these, it's definitely more possible now that I have the TBOW. And the Fang definitely makes it possible to do it without a scythe, which is cool. There's just a lot of tasks in here which I'm not particularly interested in doing just because so many of them are team tasks. And I know a lot of people, it's unavoidable that you're going to need to do team tasks, because if you don't have team tasks, like, what, you're going to just not have any Theater of Blood tasks, or you just, the one Theater of Blood task is going to be like solo it. So you need team tasks in there, but I really don't want to just like buy the combat achievements through like some shady Discord, like the speedrun times or whatever. But if they buff the rewards, I'll feel sort of obligated to do that, because I'm not someone who like has a bunch of like really cracked PVM friends. I'm an Olympus. Like, all my friends on the game are like, 3-tick fishing. Like, they're doing bar blower. They're not like speedrunning 5-man CMs. So I don't know. I do have some like friends that could be doing it, and I think if they buff the rewards, more people will now be interested in doing it. So it might be easier at that point to find teams. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's just another thing to be worried about. Let's see. Are there any other things to talk about in terms of the updates that are coming out? I'm looking forward to the Rev weapon update, making them way more common. The Rev weapons, as I've mentioned sort of in the past, are a goal of mine that I want to grind the wildy pets and everything. Let's see. Is there anything else to talk about? I know some topics of conversation that like Sebe's been talking about are like the fact that Nightmare's useless. I really have no intention. I know like one of my goals in the past was doing like 1k Nightmare, 1k Corp. I really don't really care about doing either of those at the moment. There's just no point. I think it's just a much better use of my time to grind the Tombs of a Masket and do CMs for full Ancestral. In Claws I still need, so probably like I would say my definite goals for the coming months will be to at least get Fulmasori, hopefully get a staff along the way. After that, go to CMs, go back to challenge mode, Cox, and finish off full Ancestral. And then hopefully get Claws as well. Those are the last 2 purples that like would be nice to get from Cox. And then Cox, since I have the T-Bow, I don't really care about the Elder Mall or the Kodai. I'll probably just do those over time. If I ever get to 2,000 CMs, then I'll get those for sure, probably. And I'll just be doing next whenever I get the team or whenever I just feel like chilling in a mass or whatever, or like a mini mass. Or I really, I really have no idea. I don't want to do next at all, to be honest. Next just is shit. I really have nothing else to say about that. So yeah, that's Ramble number 8. Let me know what you guys are doing in the game. Let me know if you have any thoughts about how to do next without wanting to Kermit jump. What your guys' goals are, what you think about some of the updates that are coming out, what you thought of Raise 3. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much it. I will see you guys in probably about a month or two for the next Ramble, depending on how lucky I am with these goals. But yeah, see you later.